Leo Sun and Rising. Welcome to your October 2024 Astro Update. It's Raina here. So, as the month begins, this Libra season is harmonious with Leo, and the energy is coming from the third house. The third house is Libra for you, and this means it's very much about communication. So, expect to be doing a lot of back and forth, talking with people, friends, you communicating online. The third house is social media. You could be teaching people things. You could be learning things. It's like a lot of mental activity because in astrology, the third house is ruled by Gemini and its ruler is Mercury. So that's totally what that's about. It's also your local area. It's your siblings. So on the 2nd of the month, we have a solar eclipse at 10 degrees of Libra. And this, this is a friendly angle called a sextile to Leo, Sun and Ascendant. Of course, technically, the angle would be dependent upon what degree your Sun or Rising are at. So, but just in general, these two signs are compatible with one another. And so this might be the dawning of a new form of a new avenue for you to express yourself, because Leo people tend to be very much into self-expression, very much into creativity. And if you feel that writing is that thing for you, then this is a very auspicious time. And you may feel compelled to start a blog, to start writing a novel, or maybe a YouTube channel. Leos would be natural for that kind of thing, of having a YouTube channel, because you tend to be very charismatic, entertaining people. So anyway, the opportunities can also present themselves for you in these areas. If you're a teacher, if you are in the media, like a journalist, that as well. On the 9th, Jupiter goes retrograde at 21 degrees of Gemini. This is another sextile to you in the opposite direction. So this is the 11th house, and this is the house of gains. So this can, Jupiter in the 11th house can, expand your paycheck, or your, if you want to call, if you work for yourself, it would be more like your profits. And when it goes retrograde, yeah, I mean, you might see that there is a temporary, like lowering, but it might not be, you might not lower your profits at all, because it might be a situation where you get like a blessing on the way back, because Jupiter is a great benefic as a planet. Even when it retrogrades, it's not unlucky or anything like that. It's just like you might be able to take advantage of some kind of way to earn money or way to profit from your business that you did not really explore the first time around, and you get a second chance for that. This is also one thing I want to point out too about Jupiter in this area is this is friendships, group associations, maybe networking. And it is possible that you have kind of built in the last few months, that you have kind of built up your contacts. I would assume this would be more for professional reasons, but whatever. But when Jupiter is retrograding, this means that you are going within, and you may be like thinking about that saying quantity versus quality, because if you've really been getting involved in the socializing for whatever the reason, there might be like an actual practical reason for it, but this may be kind of pulling you back into like questioning your values surrounding this and saying, maybe it's better to have less people that you're socializing with that have the kind of moral fortitude or whatever you want to call it that you have, because maybe you've gotten involved with people and it's been a little bit like maybe they party too much or things like that, and you're trying to discipline yourself in some way, and you're like, no, I don't think so. I want to like achieve certain things, and these people are not helping me to get there, that kind of thing. On the 11th, Pluto goes direct at 29 degrees of Capricorn. So for you, Leo, this is your 6th house. Now, of work, and even your health is connected to the 6th house. But speaking specifically of work, the reason I laughed is that when Pluto is in the 6th house, in general, which you've had for the last 15 years, and then it went into your 7th very briefly in the sign of Aquarius, but now it is going direct in your 6th house. You may have had a period of time where it's possible that you made a lot of strides, but it may have come with a lot of stuff behind the scenes, below the surface, that are connected to issues of power and your work environment. Now, I realize that some of you may work for yourself, and that may have been the case where you were, like if you were working for yourself, maybe this transit was about being a healer. And it could be also in the area of counseling or psychology, but when Pluto went retrograde in your 6th house in Capricorn, you may have realized that you had to heal yourself in order to heal other people. But for other people who were dealing with a workplace scenario, this could have been a situation where you had to confront your own lust for power. You had to confront your own shadows as it pertains to the area of work, service for others. Like, was it too much about power versus actual service? In terms of coworkers, was it too much about competition, trying to be in a position of authority rather than teamwork? And there is this is about working. This was about working on yourself. Now that Pluto's direct, you're going to experience it for approximately 5 more weeks until November 19th. Obviously, this is a general reading, and your own timing of Pluto in this area and in the 7th house will vary. So I just want to make that clear also. But I feel that it will, when Pluto goes direct, I feel for all of us it's going to be a little bit less intense psychologically, because whatever house it is falling for us, we're like called to really look at ourselves and work on ourselves, and that requires us to really challenge ourselves in this way. On the 13th, Mercury goes into Scorpio, and this is, it's funny because, Pluto is one of the rulers of Scorpio. So now for you, you have Mercury going into Scorpio. Well, Scorpio is your 4th house of home and family. And this can put you in contact more with your mother, maybe going back and forth. This can be you researching real estate because you're planning on it. You're going to have a new moon here in November, so you may be thinking about moving. Some of you have probably moved. You had eclipses here about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So you might have had a lot of changes in terms of that. But this could be like looking at your childhood too, because the fourth house is your past. And given Pluto going direct in this work sector, that could certainly be playing itself out. Like some people say the fourth house is the father. So regardless of what parent, it still can be this influence from childhood, this parental influence. And definitely in the workplace, this can show up as, with the boss, the kind of relationship that you have with an authority figure like that. It can be sometimes a little bit tricky, dealing with those kinds of things for sure. And on the 17th, Venus goes into Sagittarius. Really great for you because your fifth house is Sagittarius, and that's the house you rule in astrology. So having Venus here, this is a house of love and creativity, can be romantic, I was going to say hopefully for single people. If you're married and you're having this and it's romantic, that could pose a little bit of a dilemma, right? But this is also about artistic things, creative things. It's about pleasure. So I have no doubt in my mind that there are a lot of Leos who find it very pleasurable to go to the theater, for instance. So this may be something that you are indulging in more than normal. Definitely maybe plays or concerts or anything, art galleries. And definitely this could be like romantic too. And this is also, and just social, you know what I mean? And on the same day, there's a full moon at 24 degrees of Aries. Now, why is this amazing? Well, these are both fire signs, okay? Yeah, I mean, it's not uncommon to have a full moon in Aries, but you could say it's more common for it to be in November when no, I mean it's October. It would be very common. I shouldn't say that, not November, but October. But coupled on the same day with Venus and Sagittarius, I think is very amazing. And this is a full moon in your ninth house, and the ninth house is Sagittarius's house in astrology. So it can be long distance travel. So possibly like if you, for instance, and having that connection with Venus being in Sagittarius, if you have some kind of romantic, I'm not saying this is like a committed relationship, but flirtation, or maybe you've been the solar eclipse in the third house. It could be online, maybe an online dating situation. Who knows what's going on? That you are full into some kind of like romance with somebody from another country, another nationality. This could be a time of really realizing that, or maybe even solidifying a trip that you're going to take. Or it's possible that you are abroad right now and you're ending your trip. Full moons can be endings, but it could be some kind of a download. The ninth house is connected to God and to your philosophy in life. And so, yeah. And yeah, I can see somebody who is very aware of, their purpose all of a sudden, like what they came here for. On the 22nd, the sun goes into Scorpio. So we're starting to get these transits. Actually, Venus is in this fourth house for the first half of the month until it goes into Sagittarius as well. So you're getting these triggers to the fourth house. As a Leo, this is kind of a mixed bag because they always say, water, this is a water house, that water puts out fire. So for fire signs to have this kind of contact, first of all, this is a square aspect angle. And so that can create friction. And, fire signs, I would say, more often than not, are looking to the future. They're not really that interested in revisiting the past. And so this can bring things into your reality that deal with your past. Maybe you're spending more time with a parent, and that is, depending on the type of relationship you have with them, that can dredge up negative memories, and you have to kind of contend with that. So with that Mercury in going into your fourth house, it's very intense, being in Scorpio. And it's intense for all of us just as an influence. But for you, it's actually going into this water house in astrology. So it will tend to heighten that emotion. So, and your sun, it's like you're an honorary Scorpio for the next 30 days or so. So, that can make you much more interested in deep, I was going to say introspection, but just like carrying yourself in a more serious kind of perceptive way. The Mercury in this fourth house in Scorpio is very, very perceptive. And you may find that you are, if you're creating something, that it has additional intensity. All right, Leo, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my deep dive, speaking of Scorpio, deep dive readings, which are 2 readings that I offer separately that I'm offering in a package because they go along with one another. The natal chart interpretation and the transits for the next 12 months. Both of these, and actually right now I have been doing through the end of 2025. It's a little bit more than 12 months that I'm looking at. And I do pick and choose what transits I talk about because, for time constraints purposes. But each of these readings is at least an hour in length. And it is discounted when you buy it as a pair, and they do go together very nicely. And if you like the tarot, wait, there's more. If you like the tarot as well, I have one with all 3 of those readings called the whole enchilada. And I do have also love readings and career life path type of readings, and reading your child's natal chart, probably something else I've forgotten. You can find out more information at the link below. Thank you for listening. Bye.